Now, there is a peculiar kind of business undertaken by artisans known as electricians, or NEPA 2, which will never succeed without the knowledge of power distribution companies. Yet, for obvious reasons, even those who patronize them, they will tell you they have never met them. Even so, many households and even whole communities that are underserved in the power distribution value chain, knowing that ignoring these men could leave them in total blackout, helpless and abandoned. This report on the gaps that facilitate power theft is the outcome of a special investigation on critical gaps in the power sector and how the so-called NEPA 2 continue to fill the gap 8 years after the privatization of power.
They are everywhere. Sometimes you meet them on request. At other times, they come with a proposal to help you. For as long as I can remember, constant power supply has always been a mirage. In my neighborhood, for instance, we were always contributing levies at any given time to fix a cable, get a meter, or settle some persons, the so-called NEPA 2. This is not peculiar to my community alone. Most communities in Nigeria have had to equip themselves with the infrastructure to access electricity, while others are paying outrageous bills. As a matter of fact, those levies remain till now. We're still contributing money to buy transformers and sundry equipment. This is a problem we've learned to live with. There was wide cheer and applause when the Nigerian government, after several years of policies and promises, transferred the responsibility of providing power to private investors. But 8 years on, the hopes of improved service delivery are not looking so bright. Since privatization in 2013, the power sector has only been able to generate a miserable maximum of 5,615 megawatts for a population of about 200 million people. But often daily power supply averages between 3,000 megawatts and 4,000 megawatts in a country that needs roughly 200,000 megawatts of power. To make matters worse, there are still distribution problems with even the little power available, and these gaps are regularly exploited by power thieves. Just like Madam Awao Folorunsho was in her 80s, she lives on Thomas Laniyo Street. She's the owner of the 6-room building in Ajegunle, Ketu, Lagos. And like many residents here, her bills cost an arm and a leg.
Owó náà tó ti ń gbé wá ti pọ̀ jù. Àdẹ̀bẹ̀ wọn owó yìí ti pọ̀ jù lé lọ rúmọ̀ pálọ̀ méjì. Wọ́n á mú ẹgbẹ̀rún lọ́nà ọgọ́fà wá. Wọ́n á mú ẹgbẹ̀rún lọ́nà ogójì wá. Àdẹ̀bẹ̀ wọn bẹ̀ wọ́n. Gbogbo èèyàn kò séèyàn nínú ilé mi ọmọ mi náà làjọ gbé rúmọ̀ pálọ̀ kan. Kàn bá rìlíìsì owó náà o. Pàtó sú mi mo ní kàn wá gbé náà wọn. Wọ́n ní kémi lọ sọ ní Ìkẹjà kí n lọ sọ ní Ìkòdú mo bọ́ ní mo lè rìn dé mo lè rìn dé níbi mo ti jẹ́ àgbà yìí kàn jọ torí Ọlọ́run ọ̀rọ̀ náà yẹn dùn wá lọ́kàn àwọn tó tún bá mi gbé wọn lówó náà ti pọ̀ jù wọ́n sá kúrò lé.
Are outrageous bills the making of power thieves?
Yes. You are not nice to bypass.
But is it very common in Lagos?
It's very common in Lagos. And these things used to have impact on those people not using NEPA.
What's the impact it has on them?
High cost of bill.
While I tried to wrap my head around why that should even be the case, some interesting data caught my attention. According to research undertaken in South Africa, electricity distribution companies in Nigeria, that's the discos, lose about 30 billion naira every month to electricity theft.
Disco is the one losing because, for example, TCN send like 5 megawatts to them, and at the end of the day, they could not get the exact money. They could not, the money, the megawatts sent to their networking, they could not get exact money back from the field. So they are losing. They are the one losing here.
A video showing officials operate a hidden cable, a common way to steal power. Given its widespread nature, it is something you may be involved in without even knowing it.
I'm an electrical engineer, that is what I read in school. The people where we don't do work for before, now then go still tell us, say, these people, now then do this work for we, oh yeah, they go, see they call us for the work, what would they do? So we use our mind to do the electrical work, when they do. If we want to connect them for pole, means that order will come from NEPA people before you carry to pole.
This business, if that is what it should be called, is an open secret. There seems to be a mutual understanding between officials and the NEPA 2 guys. It may not be written anywhere, but there is too much one sees to think otherwise.
You will see person, they drop the wire, they will come bring the paper, say, make una see. Now I don't go pay, I better come and follow me, connect this thing. I will go house and take my envelope come and take atol. They will give me like 2,500, sometimes 3,000. I will connect the wire back to them. But that is from the order is from above or from on top, so I can be able to do that one. But without showing me anything, say go take money, and no, I will not do that.
So NEPA people go call you or tell the people, say, if you go meet,
yes,
so and so.
Exactly. Make you follow them, help them do the work.
Investigations reveal that with the introduction of prepaid meters, the guys known as the NEPA 2 in Lagos have reduced drastically, as consumers have to deal directly with the distribution companies. Interestingly, the meter installers have taken over. According to a source in one of Nigeria's electricity generation companies, some meter installers have devised another means to steal energy.
Well, if you want to bypass your meter, it's only the installer that can bypass the meter for you. Or at times, the roadside electrician can equally bypass your meter for you. Like for example, if you want to bypass a smart meter, roadside electrician cannot bypass smart meter because according to the name, the device is very smart. So there's something called a tamper. Once the tamper is activated on your device, on the meter, and whoever that goes there, the tamper will operate. The tamper is connected to the relay in the meter. So once the tamper operates, then it will open the relay in the meter, and by so doing, you will not have power because your power, it will interrupt your power. So what we now do as an installer will now, during the installation, some will not activate the tamper.
A customer had called officials of Ikeja Electric to make complaints about his prepaid meter. But since the response wasn't coming forth, he was advised to go the other route.
I called them, but unfortunately they didn't come, and they suggested that I get an electrician who would be the one to run it, and then they explained to me basically what the electrician should do. But because I'm not always around, I informed the electrician on what to do, but I would say unfortunately he didn't do what he was meant to do. So instead of him connecting the wire after my prepaid meter, I connected it to the bus bar, which in a sense, I didn't even know, I didn't check it out, which was my own fault. So subsequently, a few weeks later, like about 2 weeks, those guys from the distribution company came, and then they spotted it and said it was energy theft. Sincerely, I didn't know anything about that. But the only saving grace was because I had called them and I had briefed them about what I wanted to do, so they understood that it wasn't like a deliberate attempt to steal energy from them. So they issued a warning, a query basically.
While inspection is ongoing in Lagos, most communities are yet to be served prepaid meters in other parts of the country. Houses in Ibafo, a community about 30 kilometers away from Lagos, is still bearing the hardship of estimated billing. According to sources within the Ibadan electricity distribution companies, meters are scarce. The racketeering ring still exists, despite a 2018 report by Taiwo Adebulu on how electricity distribution officials racketeer, extort customers in need of prepaid meters. Disguised as a customer, our reporter contacts another potential customer in a community in Mowe. This business is still booming, now more than ever. It gets more interesting when the meter installer suggests it can help you steal power easily, although that comes at an extra cost.
Wọ́n fi orúkọ ní sí àwọn tó ti fíìlì fọ́ọ̀mù tẹ́lẹ̀.
Okay.
So tó bá dé, wọ́n tètè bá yín fi lọ́bì gbé jáde. Bọ̀ tẹ́ bá fẹ́ gbà mí máa suggest pé kẹgbà 3 phase. It's free, but there's nothing free in Nigeria. So tẹ́ bá ti wá gbà tán, ó ní bọ́ ṣe máa bá yín connect ẹ̀. Òun náà ló máa bá yín mọ bọ́ ṣe máa múyàn àtọ́ máa ṣe àwọn electrical kìíní bíi cooker. Wọ́n máa gbé direct kò ní wà lórí ẹ̀ tí kò ní read. Wọ́n máa bọ́ ṣe máa bá wọn ṣe mítà ẹ̀ tí ò ní read tó máa jẹ káàdì wọn ó ní.
Just a few meters away from a service hub of the Ibadan Electricity Distribution Company in Ogun State is a shop where all electrical problems are solved with the wave of a few naira notes. Well, that depends on your electricity problem. Reconnection could cost 1,000 naira to 2,000 naira, depending on your negotiating skills. From sources in the service hub, these are not engineers, marketers or customer line workers, but they are connected with the marketers. They have been in the business for years.
Energy theft is like coronavirus. It's a pandemic issue with most discos, in particular about the electricity distribution company. On a monthly basis, our estimated energy theft on monthly basis is approximately 3.7 billion. Part 2 is just a description of an activity. So sometimes it's difficult to know who are those NEPA 2 people. They are the greatest enemy of this industry because they are the ones that even go around people to say, look, we can manage your electricity for you so that you don't pay. That is not to say that some of our staff are not involved.
The government insists over 90% of the electricity generated is being distributed and consumed by consumers across the 11 electricity distribution companies in the country. But according to a source, in one of the Gencos, discos can't take 90% of the power generated because they do not have enough infrastructure to service their consumers. Prepaid meters might have come with the potential to solve some revenue problems in the power sector, But the incompetence of the discos to manage the distribution of meters to consumers is jeopardizing the effectiveness of the policy. In the end, desperate people who are unable to get the meters for no fault of theirs are exploited by power thieves when the other choice is darkness.